Hi, dear students. Very good morning, all of you. I hope everything is well with you. So, just the other day, I was teaching you the poem Daffodils, and I also understand that you have studied the poem carefully and you have written your understanding stanza wise. Okay, so today I have brought just before you chapter 4. The chapter name is Gorilla in the Guest Room. Gorilla in the Guest Room. You can see the author's name I have written for you. The author's name is Gerald Malcolm Durrell. Gerald Malcolm Durrell. Okay, he is the author of this story, Gorilla in the Guest Room. So, before we begin the chapter, I would like to ask some questions to you. Okay, please listen carefully. Have you ever seen gorilla in your life? Have you ever seen gorilla in your life? If you have seen, what was your reaction? Okay, may not be physically, but maybe in the TV or videos, wherever, maybe. What was your reaction? Suppose one more interesting question I would like to ask. Suppose in your room, gorilla has entered during the day or at night. What will you do? What will be your actions towards that event? And one more question I would like to ask. Do you love animals? Do you love animals? Which is your best animal in your life? Also, one more question I would like to ask. Have you ever kept any animals in your house? I asked you these questions just to bring to your mind that how much do you love the animals. Here the author Durrell, what he's doing, he is loving the animals. Not only he is loving the animals, but also he is also loving the humans. We must love human beings. We must love one another. We must love one another. So also we must love the nature. We also must love the animals. Okay, animals also are having feelings and other things like us. So we must love the animals. So let's begin the chapter line by line. Okay, I will read it for you and I will explain. Just open your book and open the page number 38. I flew over to London airport to collect the gorilla. I flew over to London airport to collect the gorilla. Here the I is the author. He is flying over to London airport to collect the gorilla. So now he is flying over to London airport to collect the gorilla. So he is going to collect the gorillas. Okay, and he is flying over the London. So he is going by flight, and that flight is flying over London, and he is going to bring gorilla to his house. My one fear now was that when I arrived there, I would turn out to be a chimpanzee after all. So he wanted to bring gorilla, but when he reached the place, what happens? It would turn out to be chimpanzee after all. So he wanted to bring gorilla, but at last, what did he get? He got chimpanzee after all. The animal dealer met me and escorted me to a room in the animal shelter of the Royal Society for the prevention of cruelty to animals. The animal dealer met me, so the author was met by whom? The animal dealer. Animal dealer means the person who takes care of the animals. The animal dealer met me, so author was met by the animal dealer and escorted me to a room. Escorted means to go with. Okay, to go with someone to show something. Okay, here the author was accompanied. The author was taken by the animal dealer and he was showing him the animals. Escorted him to a room in the animal shelter, the Royal Society for the prevention of the cruelty of animals. So this was the trust, the Royal Society for the prevention of cruelty to animals. So this was the society. Okay, this was the trust. So under this they were keeping the animals and they were taking care of them. So in that place only the author was taken and the animal dealer was showing him the animals. He threw open the door. The animal dealer opened the door. He threw open the door, and the first thing I saw was a couple of baby chimpanzees. He threw open the door, and the first thing I saw was a couple of baby chimpanzees sitting on a table, thoughtfully chewing bananas. So here, when the animal dealer opened the door, the first thing he saw was that what? A couple of baby chimpanzees. Chimpanzees were there, okay, sitting on a table, and chimpanzees were sitting where? On a table, thoughtfully chewing bananas. And they were chewing what? They were chewing bananas, and they were enjoying the bananas. Who? Chimpanzees were enjoying the bananas. My heart sank and I had vision of having to go back home empty-handed. Here the author, by seeing those chimpanzees, what happened? He felt like going back home with empty-handed. Who will take these chimpanzees to the house? Okay, I cannot rear them, I cannot keep them in my house. So the author was feeling, I'll not take any of the chimpanzees and take them home, no. But the dealer walked over to a crat. Here the dealer, one who was taking care of the animals, he was walking where? Over to a crat. He was walking over to a crat. Crat means where the animals are being kept. That is called crat, in the corner. So the animal dealer walked over to a crat in the corner, opened the door, and he opened the door of the crat, and Pongo walked into my life. So there, in that cage, in that crat, and Pongo walked into my life. So in that crat, who was there? In that crat, and Pongo, or who was there? The gorilla was there. Okay, do you want to see the picture? You can see the picture of and Pongo here. Okay, it is the Pongo. Alright, dear students, you can see. Okay, he is looking really beautiful. Okay, Yes, they are animals, but they are also like us. Okay, we must respect them. All right. Now, next paragraph. He stood about 18 inches high. Okay, he stood. He means and Pongo, the gorilla. He stood about 18 inches high. Okay, that the Pongo was 18 inches high, maybe 1.5 inches, 1.5 feet. This and Pongo's height was, and was the most handsome, and that and Pongo was most handsome. He was handsome enough, healthy looking baby gorilla I had ever seen. Though here the author is saying what? This and Pongo, this gorilla is so handsome, healthy looking baby gorilla I had ever seen. That author has not seen this much, okay, healthy and handsome gorilla. He strolled towards me and then held up his arm to be lifted up. So he strolled towards me. Stroll means to walk. Okay, stroll means to walk. So he strolled towards me. He walked towards me to me, and then held up his arms to lift it up. So he walked towards me, and what he has done? Then held up his arms to be lifted up. So he was trying to lift his arms so that I may lift it up. I was amazed at how heavy he was for his size. So I was amazed. The author was amazed. The author was surprised at how heavy he was for his size. He was heavy enough, heavy in size, and I soon realized that this was all solid bone and muscle. Okay, in his body only solid bone and muscles, bones were there in his body. Okay, his light chocolate color fur was thick and soft. Okay, and his body was which color? Fully black color, was thick and soft, and the skin on his hands, feet, and face was soft and glossy as shiny leather. So his skin on his hands and feet, face was as soft and glossy as shiny leather. Okay, it was shiny leather. Okay, his hands, feet, face, it was shiny, glossy. Okay, it was shining, very pleasant to touch. His eyes were small. That gorilla's eyes were small and deep set, and it was deep, twinkling like pieces of coal. You might have seen the coals, okay, black, fully black. So gorilla's eyes were fully black. So we have completed these two paragraphs. I have explained to you line by line. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, so now let's explain the next paragraph. He lay back in my arms and studied me carefully with an unwinking stare. So he lay back in my arms. See, the gorilla were at the back of the author, right? He lay back in my arms and studied me carefully with an unwinking stare. So the gorilla is at the back of the author and studied me, and the gorilla is studying about the author. Studying about the author means to know. Gorilla is knowing the author. Okay, studied me carefully with an unwinking stare. Unwinking stare. Unwinking stare means to look constantly, okay, without blinking. Unwinking stare, and then lifted a fat and gentle forefinger and examined my beard. Then what the gorilla is doing? Then lifted a fat and gentle forefinger and examined my beard. Then slowly and gradually, gorilla what he is doing? He is touching the author, sensing, and he is touching the beard of the author. Okay, beard. I tickle his ribs, and I means author. Author is tickle. Tickle means to touch gently. His ribs. Okay, author is touching the ribs of the gorilla, and he wriggled about in my arms. Wriggled. You see the meaning here? Wriggled. Wriggled about, twisted, and turned his body. So when the author touched the gorilla, what he has done? He wriggled about in my arms. So the gorilla was moving around about in my arms, giggling hoarsely. Okay, giggling hoarsely. Giggling means to laugh. Okay, hoarsely means, here you can see the meaning. Hoarsely, sounding rough. So the gorilla was making sound, laughing, his eyes shining with amusement. His eyes were shining with amusement. His eyes were filled with joyous, okay, laughter. I handed him a banana which he accepted with a little bear-like growling of pleasure. So I handed him, the author is giving, what is giving? He is giving a banana to whom? To the gorilla. He accepted with a little, he accepted like little bear, like a bear, like growling pleasure. He was making a growling sound, but it was pleasure moment. Very daintily, and ate very daintily. How he ate? He ate very daintily. Daintily means very delicate manner, very carefully, very attractive manner. Gorilla ate what? The gorilla ate banana, attractive way, in attractive manner. Compared to the chimpanzees who were stuffing their mouths as full as they could. So, chimpanzee, what do they do? Chimpanzee, they do what? They ate everything at once. If you give them food, they ate it at once. At once, together they can eat. But here, another type of animal, okay, and pango. And pango is eating the banana. How? In a courteous manner, very proper way. And pango is eating what? Banana, not like other chimpanzees eating up everything at once. Then we bundle, and pango, growling, protests back into the crat and went up to catch the plane to Jersey. Then we bundle and pango. Then we bundle and pango. Then the author wants to take and pango. While taking it into the crats. Crat means the cage where the animals are kept. So while keeping and pango inside the crat or the cage, it was protesting, and pango was not willing to go, but into the crat and went up to catch the plane to Jersey. So after the author is taking and pango to his house, okay, and went up to catch the plane to Jersey. So the author is going where? By plane to Jersey. Okay, Jersey is a place. It is situated in the middle, okay, in between of England and France. It is one of the islands, but it is part of England. So the author in Pongo is taking where? He is taking to his house and that plane. With the plane where? To Jersey.